Hi, my name is Brendan Palomino. Today is March 11th, and it's a day for Please Rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Today we have a special guest here today. Miles lost his job, so he took EFAs.
Yeah.
Class of 2022, all 9th graders, the flower bulb sales extended to April 1st. If you have not picked up your packet from Mrs. Corrigan's room, A221, you must go and get them from the teachers. If you're not interested in any bulbs, please see a 9th grader, student, or Mrs. Corrigan's room to place an order. All orders must be turned into Mrs. Corrigan's by Wednesday, March 9th.
Just a reminder that there will be a blood drive in the cafeteria on March 12th from 3 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Donors will enjoy free pizza. Please be there and see Miss Hoff in A209 if you are interested in saving lives right here on Cape Cod.
Are you free during JOSM Tuesday the 12th and looking for something to do that's different and powerful? Sanskrit is hosting a guest speaker on Tuesday who specializes in expressing the dark underworld in our art and writing. Artist, performer, writer, and Chatham native Michelle Dungan lectures in both Massachusetts and Rhode Island about demons, dark angels, spirits in both art and literature. She'll be speaking throughout JOSM A and B. If you are welcome to come either time to Mrs. Doyle's room A237 to hear her speak. That's very interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Come join us for Hoops for Heart event. It's a 3-on-3 basketball tournament on Thursday, March 14th at 3:30 in the gym. The cost to play is $5 per person. If you are interested, please see Ms. Yarnell to sign up.
Newsies performance are Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, March 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th at 7 p.m. at a matinee on Saturday, March 16th at 2 p.m. Admissions are $5 for students and $15 for adults. Tickets are available at the door.
Look and quote of the week. Look at the bright side.
Indeed. And for lunch today, we got some whole grain chicken nugs, some steamed corn, and a whole grain roll.
Now to Maggie with the weather.
Thanks, Miles. For weather today, there will be some snow north of us in Canada and Vermont, but Cape Cod should expect clear skies. Now for the extended forecast. Today, we should expect some AM clouds and some PM sun with a high of 46 and a low of 30. Tuesday, we should have some partly cloudy skies with a high of 40 and a low of 28. Wednesday, we should have some mostly sunny skies with a high of 35 and a low of 30. That's all for weather. Now to Mr. Burkhead with a quick JOSM announcement.
Hello, Monomoy. I'm Charlotte, and I have some great news. Our world-famous JOSM Hour is coming back by popular demand. I'm here today with our principal, Mr. Burkhead, to discuss the specifics of our new JOSM Hour. Mr. Burkhead, can you tell me a little bit about our new JOSM Hour?
Sure. First, I'd like to thank all of the students and the teachers for their patience. JOSM is the heart and soul of our school, I believe, and bringing it back is really exciting for me as principal, but I know a lot of people have also shared that excitement and anticipation. So we're kicking this thing off next week, and the good news is it's extremely similar to the original JOSM, which allows for a lot of flexibility in students to choose and have choice in some wonderful enrichment opportunities. It allows our teachers to offer some really cool things that they're passionate about. But it also allows for kind of a stress-free break in the day where things slow down a little bit and we're able to connect with friends socially, connect with teachers that we need to, and also for those students that are struggling, they will still be assigned an academic overtime in which they go and catch up. So the ultimate goal is that everyone's grades improve through JOSM. We know this happens because our data from the first time we ran it exists. So I think in those ways, JOSM is going to be very similar than the original.
You mentioned some similarities to the original JOSM. What will be different?
I think the big difference is going to be the accountability. The major theme, Be Somewhere, is going to be exactly the same, that you need to be somewhere. But in this new JOSM, we'll actually having scheduling software where students will actually schedule week by week with options where they'll be, and we'll also be taking attendance. So I think that's going to be a little different. It allows us to know where everyone is, primarily from a safety perspective. In the original JOSM, kids were able to come and go when they pleased, and we didn't really know where everybody was, and it did cause some concerns there. In this JOSM, once you go to a choice, you're to stay in that choice. There'll be no opportunities to move around the building after you go to your scheduled JOSM.
Where can we eat lunch?
Very similar to the original JOSM, there'll be a lot of choices for kids to eat lunch. A favorite for a lot of kids was the Teachers Shark Cafe. That'll still be a very popular option for students. You can eat with teachers, pending teacher approval. That's one option. The cafeteria is an obvious option. Also outside the cafeteria where the tables are outside the gym. And with the weather breaking hopefully soon, that will be, those tables outside the community entrance outside the caf will be available for all students. And the seniors, senior only for senior privilege, outside the library tables and the picnic tables across from the library in the courtyard will be available. The stark difference in the lunch for this new JOSM is that the team rooms will be off limits for lunch.
Right.
And stairwells and other places that are not specifically noted in the expectation document that went out to all students.
So how will the team rooms be used?
So a little bit different here. The team rooms will be used for supervised teacher activities only. They will no longer be a place where kids can go and hang out. We need the space, and we need the space utilized by clubs and activities. So those are off limits to anybody except with teacher supervised activities.
Can students start their own clubs to host during JOSM?
Yeah, that's a great question, and that's something we really encourage. What we saw in the first round of JOSM, our groups of students were excited about starting their own opportunities. And I can think of one example is the American Sign Language. A group of students came to me, wanted to start that for their fellow students. If you get a teacher to supervise or oversee it, there's a form you fill out in the main office, you meet with me, I approve it, and then we find you a space, and it's off and running. So if you're interested in doing something that we don't offer, or starting your own club, this is a great opportunity to do that, and that's the process.
What happens if you don't go to an academic overtime or aren't in the JOSM activity you scheduled?
Okay, so with the new scheduling software, it's going to be similar to any other class. You're expected to go, and I think the exciting part of the new JOSM is we've actually built in passing time between JOSMs. Before we didn't have that. There was a warning bell, so it's going to be very similar. Where you'll have 4 minutes to get to your JOSM, you'll have 4 minutes to get to lunch and back. So there's some built-in time which will help students get from A to B. As far as responsibility of being in class, it's no different than any other class now. Whether it's enrichment, academic overtime, teachers will take attendance, and if you miss the class, it will count as a cut, and the same consequences as a class cut, detention or Saturday school, etc. So this must remind everybody that this is a privilege, and we want this to continue. So be somewhere, go where you're scheduled. We will be taking attendance, and detention for JOSM will now be held during JOSM time and not after school. So if you get a detention, you'll be losing your privileges during JOSM. So we hope that's incentive for everyone to go to where they're supposed to be.
How will the library be accessed?
The library will be accessed similar to any other enrichment. It will be an option for you to schedule in. You can go as many days as you like. It'll be open A and B, JOSM A and B. And we're going to open up the maximum number of students to allow the library to be full to capacity. In return, we expect that students use the library appropriately. And what I mean by that is that it's a place for quiet study. And if we can ensure that everyone's acting appropriately and it's a quiet study, we can fit the maximum number of students. As some people may recall, we had to reduce the number of students because behaviors weren't meeting our expectations. In this new JOSM version, instead of penalizing the majority, if a student, individual student or group of students is not behaving quietly and appropriately, they will lose the privilege of the library, so that it will allow more space for more people. So there'll be plenty of opportunity to use the library. We ask that you just use it responsibly.
How will you encourage students to fill out their schedules?
So we will actually start out by having the first day with your enrichment teacher, teaching you how to fill out the schedule, and then having you do that on your own. We will also have some support places you can go if you don't understand it. But after, I think, myself being trained in it, it's pretty user-friendly, and I think the students will pick it up pretty quickly. It's easy to use, and students will be responsible for filling out their full schedule. Again, each day we'll be printing out a report, so if a student doesn't completely fill out their full schedule and think they can take 2 lunches or do that, again, they'll lose privileges if they do that. So it's obviously strongly encouraged that you fill out your full schedule.
What about Take 5? Does that still exist?
Take 5 will not exist under the new JOSM. Take 5 was actually added before we had JOSM. In the original JOSM, it wasn't in place as well. So there will be no Take 5 during JOSM, as the full hours technically in a Take 5 in itself.
So when does JOSM begin?
Well, the good news is that we're starting this right away. We're going to start Monday, March 11th, and you'll be reporting to your enrichment classes, and they'll be scheduled by A and B, so that'll be emailed out to all students. It'll also be posted on Aspen and around the school the rest of the week, so I'd highly recommend that you all find out which teacher you'll be meeting with. You should all know your enrichment teachers, but find out which block, A or B. You'll go that first day, you'll be trained on the software, fill out your schedule for the week, and then Tuesday, actually start enjoying the opportunities.
Thank you, Mr. Burkhead, for joining us. Remember that JOSM will start on the 11th, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day.